This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Hey, what's up? It's Mario Lopez. Back to school is an exciting time, but it can also be overwhelming, and kids may feel isolated, a vulnerability that human traffickers can exploit. Human trafficking doesn't always look like what you expect. Everyday moments can become opportunities for someone with bad intentions. Whether you're a parent, teacher, coach, or neighbor, check in, ask questions, stay connected. Blue Campaign is a national awareness initiative that provides resources to help recognize suspected instances of human trafficking. Learn the signs and how to report at dhs.gov/Blue Campaign.
Come on. Why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity. With Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Saks Off 5th is your secret to fashion's most wanted deals at up to 70% off. On the hunt for designer steals that'll turn heads and leave a trail of envy? Uncover Gucci, Valentino, Versace, Stuart Weitzman, and more, with new arrivals dropping weekly at prices too good to stay confidential. Luxe layers, statement boots, and tailored essentials from Saks Off 5th will put your wardrobe on the most wanted list. Head to SaksOff5th.com or a Saks Off 5th store near you for a style lineup you won't want to miss.
Hey, Rubes. This football season, Bell Bank is giving one KFAN listener each week $1,000 to pay it forward to a charity of their choice. Just head over to KFAN.com, keyword contest to learn more and enter today. That's KFAN.com, keyword contest.
Up 13-14 past. I'm Common. He's 10 to be hour number one in the books. As always, it was fast-paced and controversial. Hour number two starts out the same way with 5, 3, 4.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4. Question number 1. It's time now for the lowdown in Dinkytown.
The Gophers football team lost at California 27-14 late Saturday night. Down 3 with 8:10 left in the fourth quarter. Gopher safety Coy Parrish muffed a punt with Cal recovering at their 8-yard line. 3 plays later, the Golden Bears scored to go up 10. Drake Lindsey completed 19 of 32 passes for 205 yards, 1 TD, 1 INT. Cal quarterback Jaron Kioe Sega Palutele completed 24 of 38 passes for 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions.
Could you do that pronunciation again?
I don't even know if I got it right.
I think it was close. I'll go with it.
Common, what sticks out to you from the Gophers' loss at Cal?
That the week before, one of the Gopher defensive players said we might be the best defensive team in the nation. And statistically, if you looked at it, Tennessee, they were. The only issue is what happens is when you're playing the opposition that the Gophers did in their first 2 games, your defense is going to look really good. The Gophers, going into that game against Cal, had the number 1 ranked team in total defense, 96.5 yards allowed per game. Passing defense, 65 yards. The number 3 rushing defense, 31.5. And a scoring defense that was tied for 6th with 5.0 points allowed per game. So there was a lot of talk in Gopherville about how good the defense was. And Tennessee, I'll use as an example one situation that comes up all the time. It'll be that Gopher spring game, offense against defense. And the defense will dominate. People go, look at our defense, it's going to be really good this year. Or the offense will dominate. We're going to have a great offense. But then was the offense really that good because they're that good, or just because our own defense is that bad, or vice versa? And so when we played, I don't know what Cal, how many points did they end up in the game? Was it 27?
Yeah, 27-14.
27-14. Their quarterback, what were his numbers again?
24 of 38, 279 yards, 3 tutties, 0 ints.
Sounds to me like the defense needs some work. And so, Rosen had suggested he had picked Minnesota to beat Cal. I love the way Rosen,
Waffles?
Well,
flip-flops?
no, not waffles or flip-flops. The way Rosen, the information he uses to make his predictions was he said, well, the Gophers beat USC and UCLA last year, so I think they'll beat another California team this year. That's what he said.
I always love that one.
That was his logic. That's what he used. And when he said it, I kind of rolled my eyes, shrugged my shoulder, and shook my head and said, well, you don't really mean that, do you? Oh, yeah. And he did at the time. But, I don't know if Cal, I didn't watch it. I was watching Crawford versus Canelo, which that's a whole other thing. Ring walk. You know what ring walk is, right, Tim? That's when they're going to enter the ring, right? It was scheduled for 10 o'clock. You know what time the fight started? 11:52.
You've got to be kidding me.
So I had to watch 2 prelim fights.
Was it on the West Coast or what?
It was in Vegas.
Okay.
But it was supposed to be 10 o'clock ring walk Central Time. I checked. It was 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central on most of these CBS stations. And it wasn't. They didn't start the fight. But anyway, so I didn't watch the Gophers play, but they're a cute club. They're okay. They're all right. I think Fleck's done overall. He's done an admirable job. But I'll say what I said before. There were Gopher backers in this town that thought this is it. We're going to now. They love Fleck, and they say it's hard, man. And I don't know what the answer is. It's just they're not a helmet school, and now with Nil and everything else, I just don't know if they'll ever. But yeah, we'll see what happens when the Big Ten schedule. Who do we have this week? Is it Maryland? I don't even know who we play. Big Ten schedule starts this week, and but we have a bye. I think we have a bye this week. Do we not? Does that mean no PJ Fleck show tomorrow?
We don't play till September 27th. We got Rutgers.
That's right.
And then Ohio State.
So, we get a week off to lick our wounds, try to figure out what went wrong against Cal. It was close to the, again, it wasn't like, what was the final score ended up being?
27-14.
Because it wasn't it, if what I read correctly, I think it was relatively close until. Yeah,
it was a 3-point game till that muff punt.
Until the muff punt.
And 8 minutes to go.
And that was it. And all of a sudden, the game just completely got away from them.
By the way, if you really want to torture yourself, replay of Vikings-Falcons just started on NFL Network.
Oh, I'd like to watch that. That'd be fun.
Question number 2. It's time now for a look at the Lynx.
That's a team.
Yeah, we got one team in this town. Well, actually, the Frost do as well. But the Lynx blew out the Golden State Valkyries 101-72 yesterday in Game 1 of their playoff series. Minnesota actually trailed 28-21 after the first quarter, but Golden State just went 3 for 22 from three-point range over the final 3 quarters. Natisha Heidemann finished with 18 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. Game 2 is set for 9 p.m. Wednesday in San Jose. Common, your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are I don't really expect... Who are we playing? The Valkyries?
Yeah.
I don't expect them to put up much of a fight. I think this will be a sweep, I would expect.
Yes. Be pretty disappointed if it wasn't.
Did I see New York Liberty? Did they lose one of their didn't they lose one of their players to injury yesterday?
Yesterday they did?
I thought I saw that. Maybe I was reading the wrong story. Maybe it was a different team. I would think, that would be the series. I thought I saw that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to spread false information. I thought that's what I saw.
They won last night. I saw that.
Yeah, they did win.
Oh, it looks like Brianna Stewart,
yes,
who was hurt
correct
for a good chunk of the season.
She hurt her leg yesterday.
Her status uncertain.
Correct.
After injuring left leg versus Mercury.
So I think, assuming it goes as expected, the favorites, it would be the semifinals would be the Lynx against the Liberty, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, they won game 1 against Phoenix, yeah.
So without Brianna Stewart, I think any chances the Liberty had to win, from what I know from Stewart, I just know she's one of their better players. So you take out one of your better players against a team that's already beaten you,
3 out of 4?
3 out of 4. I think that makes the road a little bit easier for the Lynx. And nothing's given in sports. That's why they lace them up, tend to be. But I think the Lynx are on their way to. Would this be their 5th World Championship in franchise?
Won 4. Yeah, they won 4 in 7 years.
Yes. So I think
got robbed of one last year.
Yes, exactly. So I don't think I'm going out on any kind of a limb here and making some bold and brash prediction. People are going to go, whoa. But I'm assuming, barring a major injury or two, or that Aces Club, the one would we meet them in the? That
would be in the final, and they won last night again.
Yeah, and they've won 17 or 18 straight. So maybe that should be. It'd be fun to have Liberty at full strength, avenge that, and then meet the Aces and see what happens there. That's. I expect them to win the WNBA championship.
Question number 3.
We're gonna win, Twins, we're gonna score.
It's now time to delve deep into Twins territory.
Bailey Ober struck out a season-high 9 batters across 6 innings, giving up just 4 hits and 0 walks. But unfortunately, one of those hits was a 3-run homer to Diamondbacks catcher James McCann as they lost 6-4 to Arizona. Comment on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being Muhammad Ali and 1 being Terrified Tenna. What is your confidence level in Bailey Ober for the 2026 season?
Closer to Terrified Tenna. I don't think I'm at Terrified Tenna. We talk about it all the time. It goes back to the McCarthy thing. All we hear from the organization, this kid's going to be great. All he needs is some people around him. He's going to develop into a great quarterback. All he does is win. And every organization does it. When they draft players, when they trade for players, when they sign players, these guys are going to be difference makers. These guys are going to be some of the better players in the league. And we liked Ober, liked him a lot, and he's had his moments, but I think when wasn't he have an injury earlier this year too, and came back, and he was working on his velo because his velo was down, and his velo isn't where it used to be. And right now, really, the only 2 pitchers that the team I really think can depend upon are Lopez and Joe Ryan. That's it. The others, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're mediocre. They're all right. But I don't expect. I hope I'm wrong. I'd like to see Bailey Ober a long and illustrious career with the Twins, but I just don't see it.
Question number 3.
We don't have time for a full version of this, but how about an abbreviated version?
Oh, sure.
NFL No Huddle.
The Chiefs dropped to 0-2 after falling to the Eagles 2017 yesterday at Arrowhead Common. Should Chiefs fans be concerned?
Should you be concerned about your big game prediction? You had Chiefs versus Vikings. Teams combined are 1-3. No. Yeah, 1-3.
Well, Travis Kelce ruined it yesterday.
Yeah, he dropped
Just
the pass.
dropped the thing in the end. Yeah,
he was thinking about Tay. It was a terrific football game, I thought. I mean, it was. I love defense. There was still some good offense. I liked the game. I thought Kansas City was going to win. They probably should have. Kelce catches that. It's a different story. But good football game. Eagles are still tough to beat. I don't think we've heard the last of Kansas City. I think they'll be in the thick of things late in the season. I mean, they'll make the playoffs or anything, but I'm not. Yeah, but that's cause for concern when you're 0-2 because tend to be only 12% of teams that start the season 0-2 end up making postseason play.
You already mentioned the Lions beating down the Chicago Bears 52-21.
It's been restored.
Common, after that performance, are the Lions, in your opinion, back to being big game contenders?
I never thought they weren't big game contenders. That first game, that's Green Bay's a really good. That didn't scare you
off at all?
That Green Bay is a really good. I hate saying it. You know, the only teams I like, my favorite teams are the Vikings, the Lions, and whoever's playing Green Bay, right? Green Bay's, that defense is good. It's young, it's hungry. The Micah Parsons guy makes them even better. Offensively, they're good. I like Jordan Love a lot. They were convincing in their win over Detroit, convincing in their win over Washington. I still look at the line. I looked at the Lions schedule. This was prior to the Bears beatdown. I thought being generous 9-8 was about the best they could get because, again, their offensive line is new. They've got 3 new parts to their offensive line. You did have a creative play caller. Again, I said at the beginning of the show, and I've said forever, I think sometimes offensive and defensive coordinators' impact on their respective units can be a little exaggerated and almost too much credit goes to those guys. But you did lose a really creative offensive coordinator. And you look at the schedule. Their schedule's as tough as the Vikings and the Pats. Look who they have to play. They've got they're at Baltimore on Monday night. I don't care how. I mean, the Lions better play offensively like they did because they're going to have their hands. I don't think they get out of Baltimore.
Last time they went to Baltimore did not go well for them.
No, I don't think they got out of Baltimore with a win. They've got all the same teams. They have a tough schedule. So, but it sure beat what happened the week before when they got clobbered by Green Bay. That's for sure.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 Questions. Well, actually, 3 questions, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
Teddy, when you leave that, generally when we go to break, you'll go out to get like a water or use the restroom. Duck, because you don't want to hurt your head on the door frame. I'm going to do the same. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Head coach of the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings addresses the media about 1:30 or so.
Hey, what's up? It's Mario Lopez. Back to school is an exciting time, but it can also be overwhelming, and kids may feel isolated, a vulnerability that human traffickers can exploit. Human trafficking doesn't always look like what you expect. Everyday moments can become opportunities for someone with bad intentions. Whether you're a parent, teacher, coach, or neighbor, check in, ask questions, stay connected. Blue Campaign is a national awareness initiative that provides resources to help recognize suspected instances of human trafficking. Learn the signs and how to report at dhs.gov/Blue Campaign.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity. With Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance, it keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Welcome to the W, where legends are made and history is written under the brightest lights. The WNBA delivers nonstop action and world-class talent every single game. And now, it all comes down to this. Will the New York Liberty defend their crown, or will another team take the chip? This is where champions rise and legacies are defined. Watch the WNBA postseason, currently underway on ABC and ESPN.
This message is sponsored by Greenlight. With school out, summer is the perfect time to teach our kids real-world money skills they'll use forever. Greenlight is a debit card and the #1 family finance and safety app used by millions of families, helping kids learn how to save, invest, and spend wisely. Parents can send their kids money and track their spending and saving, while kids build money confidence and skills in fun ways. Start your risk-free Greenlight trial today at greenlight.com/iHeart. That's greenlight.com/iHeart.
So right here on the Fan. Oh, is this the bumper music? This sounded like one of those like outdoorsy commercials. Make sure when you're going out with the kids this weekend, get ready for all of your camping gear at Tennebee's Fishing and Camp. Doesn't it have that kind of a sound to it?
I would actually go to Maplewood is where I would go, because get ready to feast, Maplewood. The Friday Football Feast rolls on to Buffalo Wild Wings Maplewood this Friday. Drop in as PA gets you set for Sunday showdown with the Bengals, plus your chance to win great prizes all morning. Doors open at 8 a.m. Get all the details at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
If head on down to Shields for all of your outdoor needs. Let me ask you a question. If the season continues like this, can we start calling it the Friday Football Famine? Or do you think that's just... You got to be able to laugh at yourself, right? You got to be able to roll with the punches, not take things quite so seriously. Speaking of taking things seriously, Tennessee, you familiar with Barrett Media?
Yes.
Barrett Sports Media did a story about the radio station a few years ago. Said we're the best all sports radio. Well, he maybe didn't say that, but they were just talking about the success of the fan. They did a big feature piece. They interviewed most of us that are on the air and asked questions. I think they recently, I was told I couldn't read it because I'm envious and jealous. No, it's because I know everything about the Power Trip Morning Show, so why would I need to know anymore? I was just talking about the most successful radio show in the world, the Power Trip Morning Show. And the guys talked about, well, it's just because we are who we are. And so I like Barrett Sports Media. I think they do. They also do the annual rankings. Every year they'll rank the best small, medium, and large market sports talk, sports shows. In Tennessee, we're always in the top 20. We're very happy with that. Of course, we're never as highly regarded as the morning show or PA. No. Trust me. But, we're there in the top 20. But I saw this Barrett Media report, and I'll just leave the names out because there's no reason to bring them up, but an all sports station recently in the upper Midwest recently let go their noon to 3 host. The story in Barrett says the station's website indicates the shows have been expanded to fill the 12-3 time slot. So in other words, they didn't replace the midday guy. All they did was expanded the other show. So let me give you an example of what that would sound like to me.
Yeah.
That would be like making the Power Trip Morning Show go from 6 to 10, the Paul Allen Project going from 10 until 2, and Bumper to Bumper going from 2 to 6. No! That's basically what they did at this other radio station. Now, did you follow that?
I did.
So there was Power Trip 6 to 10.
Yeah.
PA 10 to 2. Big Ticket from 2 until 6.
Wait, I didn't catch that. Could you repeat that for me, please?
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking this radio station recently eliminated the 12 to 3 guy.
Sure.
And instead of hiring a new guy, just because the guy wasn't doing very well or wasn't getting any, the report cards weren't very good or he wasn't generating a lot of income, what they did was they let him go, but then they just expanded the other shows without hiring somebody. So that would be like here if they would go, are you writing this down? Power Trip Morning Show 6 to 10.
I never thought, okay.
PA 10 until 2, and then Big Ticket 2 until 6.
So 3 shows doing 4 hours instead of 4 shows doing 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cheaper and less headache. I like that.
Yeah. Isn't that funny how that works?
Sounds like more headache to me.
Well, it does, but I think what's happening, Tennessee, is I think that might be the new template across sports talk radio. So,
well, I mean, if the station did decide to do that, we're pissed.
Well, I'm not leaving town.
We're not leaving town.
And I'm not going to retire either. You know that. Timmy, let me ask you, who invented the word vendetta? I did. Water's warm on the other side. Come on in, the water's warm. So anyways, just
good luck to you if you make that decision.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. It's just interesting. It's kind of the way the industry is headed. We'll take a break. We'll come back when we do. Kevin O'Connell live from the new Winter Park TCO Performance Center right here on The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's Mario Lopez. Back to school is an exciting time, but it can also be overwhelming, and kids may feel isolated, a vulnerability that human traffickers can exploit. Human trafficking doesn't always look like what you expect. Everyday moments can become opportunities for someone with bad intentions. Whether you're a parent, teacher, coach, or neighbor, check in, ask questions, stay connected. Blue Campaign is a national awareness initiative that provides resources to help recognize suspected instances of human trafficking. Learn the signs and how to report at dhs.gov/Blue Campaign.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Welcome to the W, where legends are made and history is written under the brightest lights. The WNBA delivers nonstop action and world-class talent every single game. And now, it all comes down to this. Will the New York Liberty defend their crown, or will another team take the chip? This is where champions rise and legacies are defined. Watch the WNBA postseason, currently underway on ABC and ESPN.
Saks Off 5th is your secret to scoring fashion's most wanted deals at up to 70% off. On the hunt for designer steals that'll turn heads and leave a trail of envy? Uncover Gucci, Valentino, Versace, Stuart Weitzman, and more top designers at prices too good to stay confidential. Dare to get caught up in luxe layers, statement boots, fall denim, and bohemian dresses from Saks Off 5th that'll put your wardrobe on the most wanted list. Men's must-haves are here too, with tailored essentials, cozy sweaters, sneakers, and designer accessories for every fall mission. With new arrivals dropping weekly at Saks Off 5th, the pursuit for the ultimate find is always on. Whether you're looking for a seasonal wardrobe refresh, shopping for a specific occasion, or just want to get inspired, Saks Off 5th is your partner in crime for the big score. Head to SaksOff5th.com or a Saks Off 5th store near you for up to 70% off every day. This is a style lineup you won't want to miss.
Gear up for a hilarious night when Dane Cook returns to the Island Event Center.
He's coming back?
See his legendary style of stand-up comedy live at Treasure Island on Friday, October 24th. Get all the details now at TICasino.com.
I can hardly wait. I'm Comedy's 10 to be. We're awaiting the arrival of the head coach of the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings, the reigning NFL Coach of the Year. About to address the assembled media at the new Winter Park, the TCO Performance Center, his day after the game news conference. You know, Tana, I'm not the first to suggest this. I'm not even sure I would have been for this. But do you think the Vikings should have, hindsight being 2020 now, especially with the struggles of J.J. McCarthy, and, some of it, the offensive line's is still a little leaky. Do you think they would have been better off playing him more in the preseason? Not just, he played, was it one series? I think he played one series, and that was it. I've seen enough out of J.J. McCarthy, PA, put him on ice. Or do you think more reps would have been better for him against National Football League teams? Granted, it would have been against, backups for the most part, undrafted free agents trying to win spots on the roster, because he does look like the game's just a bit fast for him at this point. And maybe that wouldn't have made a difference. But I know there were those that argued, I don't think you're Justin Jefferson's knee. That I don't think. He hasn't had a great start to the career, but a lot of that has had to do with the protection and the quarterback play. But, a lot of those plays, they don't need that, right? This guy doesn't need to play because it's that kind of a position. But when your quarterback hasn't played at all, do you think that? But then, the argument against it, which I actually side with, is that you don't want to get him hurt in a preseason.
That's what I was going to bring up. Yeah. We can't prove that he would have gotten hurt or that he would have been healthy, but at least you're 100% sure right now he's healthy.
That's correct. So,
and I don't think it matters that much.
No, I don't.
It's not even they're playing second, third teams. Like, just the defenses you're against are just more vanilla. Correct. They're not like. I think what McCarthy's going to learn is every week is a different puzzle, and the way you played in week one, they're going to throw stuff at you. Especially early in the season, they're going to throw stuff at you that you haven't seen on tape, and you got to be able to adjust. And doesn't have enough NFL experience to be able to see all of it, to be able to process it properly. And then if you aren't processing it properly, now your brain's thinking too quickly and you're not able to probably throw the ball like you're capable of because you're trying to think too fast.
When we talked about a team that we felt was built to win now, coming off a 14-3 season, they addressed what were considered the weakest issues to the team, the interior of the offensive and defensive lines. When I would bring up, maybe go out and get an Aaron Rodgers. He wanted to play here. He had a conversation with O'Connell, and they decided to go with the young quarterback. The future it's time to go to our future quarterback. We're not going to mess around with that nonsense and try to get there with an old veteran. We're not going to do what the Vikings did, all those years ago with Brett Favre. And there were those that thought that was the way to go. I understand the logic where you want to get the most out of your highly regarded young quarterback when he's still working under that rookie contract. Rookie contract's like five years. Generally, you redo him after 4, though, if he's proving that he's going to be that quarterback. And I get that, but I also will say, if you, as a franchise, truly believe you are ready to, your window's open right now. You could be doing the franchise and the rest of the team a bit of it. Here's KOC.
Talked about a little post game. The film kind of, confirmed a lot of the things that we felt in the game. We didn't play, didn't play to the standard that we need to. I did think the effort and the energy was there, but across the board, it's coming down to simple things that we work really hard to make sure that standard is met, and fundamentals, technique, really specifically speaking to the offense, just avoiding critical errors that don't give us a chance to ultimately have success, and need to be more consistent across the board. Regardless of who's in there or who's got to step in there, we feel like we've got a roster that can handle that, and guys can step in and do the things required. So a lot of work to do. We're very fortunate to have another opportunity at home this week against a good football team, and we've got to have a good week of preparation and make some of these things come to life, and that's what we're going to do. And we're on our way to doing that already today here with the players back in the building. So update just on some injuries. Both Ryan Kelly and Justin School are in the concussion protocol. Came in, with some positive early signs today, but that is totally in the hands of the medical professionals as they work through the protocol. Aaron Jones, we're still in the process of evaluating kind of his hamstring. As of right now, I want to make sure we have a good understanding of it, and likely to be down this week, and we'll figure out kind of the determining factor for that timeline. We did avoid, thank goodness, some serious injuries on Gabe Murphy and Jonathan Grenard. JG was able to come back in with that oblique, just kind of shocked him there for a play, and he was able to come back in, and Gabe Murphy did avoid, what we feared at the moment to be potentially serious. He was able to avoid anything serious there. And then just one final update, JJ McCarthy, did come in very, very sore today with the ankle sprain. I would anticipate we are not planning on having him for Sunday, and don't likely see this being any kind of short-term IR thing, but I do want to see, and Tyler and the group want to see how he responds to treatment this week. But, give him a ton of credit, just the toughness to get that thing taped up and keep playing. But yeah, that is something that we were able to determine today. So obviously tough news there. So we've got our work cut out for us, a lot of work to be done. We'll get Carson Wentz ready to go. Had a really good practice last week when JJ was out of the building, on a Thursday kind of third down kind of day. And Carson stepped in and did a great job. So I know the guys will have a ton of confidence in him, as well as Max being a snap away.
Kevin, so what happened with JJ?
I believe it happened on the second and 20 scramble where he was able to get towards our sideline and just kind of got rolled up. And in the moment, didn't necessarily think it was significant. When we came off after that series, there was somebody in the blue tent, so he was kind of evaluated right there and just got it taped up and went back in the game. And I think it's one of those things, just kind of hearing from our medical staff, one of those things that tends to be much worse today than probably was in the moment to him with adrenaline and everything. But like I said, a huge compliment to him for fighting through it and continuing to compete.
Just how crazy are all these injuries? I mean,
yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, we're definitely dealing with some adversity right now for sure. Both through our performance, but also the injury side of things. It's never ever going to be an excuse. We've got to find a way to have the next man up, and hopefully, we're expecting, some good news on Okuda and Gink with where they're at in the phase of the protocol, being able to, begin their practice work and kind of clear that last hurdle to hopefully be available this week. And then we'll see where Harry and Gink are, or Harry and CD are as well. As they continue kind of their ramp up plan. Anticipate both those guys practicing on Wednesday, and then we'll see where we're at from that standpoint as well. So there's, absolutely. You want to have all your guys out there. You want to have the original intent of your full groups, whether that's Jordan or CD or potentially now Aaron and JJ. But we've got to work through it. Every team deals with it. Our opponent's going to be dealing with it. As well, specifically at the quarterback position. So that is the nature of our league week in and week out. It's just hit us, pretty significantly early on here. And we've just got to work our way through it and try to weather the storm and play good football regardless of who's in the game.
Kevin, with Ryan Kelly, I think this is his fourth concussion in his career. How much does that affect the way you guys think about the timetable for him?
Yeah, it's definitely something that, I think, in these cases specifically, you're always going to defer to the medical professionals and Ryan and allow them to work through it. It is encouraging, that he feels, he does feel positive and good today from a standpoint of knowing that history. But like I said, I mean, my job is to have the best interest of the player and totally just allow the medical staff and our doctors and the independent doctors to kind of guide where this thing goes ultimately. But no question, we want to make sure Ryan's in a good place.
With JJ, people will see that he finished the game last night and at least wonder, is there any part of the decision this week based on performance?
No, not at all. In fact, it was pretty crushing this morning to hear that for me. Just, look, for JJ, he's in a long process, a long journey right now, where there's going to be some ups and downs. And as a team, I think our ability to play a little bit more consistent around him on the offensive side, these one-off kind of critical errors that end up being totally out of JJ's control. We've got to find a way to eliminate those and limit them in any way possible. The things that are self-inflicted, that our opponent is really not doing a whole lot to cause, those are the things that we need to make sure we wrap our minds around, look at them, meet them head on. That's us as coaches, absolutely myself and then our group, and we've got the group to do that. But no, there's not any aspect of this. This is a purely medical-based thing that we're dealing with right now.
And what's your sense of how much Carson's been able to pick up here in the weeks that he's been here?
Yeah, he was really impressive last week. Kind of stepping in, you felt the veteran presence and the command. He's really smart, a guy that's played a lot of football, and he's been able to, get himself to a place where he's felt very comfortable, these past 2 weeks had he needed to go in the football game, and now he'll get a week of preparation to get ready to go play.
Can you call everything that you would call with JJ? He's been in the system 2 years. Can you call everything with Carson that you would with JJ?
Yes, I think so. And there's always going to be a quarterback comfort level to what we take to the game, regardless of what we prepare throughout the week. By the time we get to Saturday, you want to be calling the things that the guy in the game's comfortable with, has a positive feeling towards, a great understanding of, and there's going to be some things, previous experiences that allow Carson to, and we've already seen that with kind of a seamless transition for him in certain areas, and then in other areas where things are kind of newer for him for the first time. I think normally my experience with him short term has been he gets that rep, he gets that time, he gets that clarity, and then he's been good to go. As if had he gone in the game even yesterday, we were going to be working off the same menu, same collection of plays, and Carson felt good about it.
Kevin, are you comfortable with Max as the backup, just considering his inexperience?
Yeah, I think you're kind of going back to how we talked about him in training camp and how he came out of some of those great games, with pretty high marks and grades for his personal execution, some of the instinctive things he did, his physical skill set of being a really fundamentally sound, kind of twitchy, accurate passer, and being able to be a fast decision maker. All those things bode well. But no, there's clearly, you'd love to have a little bit more experience there, but that's the nature of wanting to have a really good young developing player that you bring in the undrafted process. He's on our roster and he's going to be a snap away, and I know Max will be prepared. That's what we've kind of learned quickly about him from the very first day he was here.
Hey, Kevin, what did you see in Michael Juergens getting out there?
Yeah, I thought, Jurg stepped in. There was a few plays from a standpoint of just stepping in and, some of the plans, for a guy like Ryan Kelly, some of the jobs we ask him to do. There can be some challenges out there, but I thought Jurg stepped in and competed. There's always going to be some communication things when things are moving fast for a guy that, didn't get a lot of reps throughout the week. But I thought he, over the course of his body of work, there was a lot of positives, and I think he'll build on that this week if his number's called.
Just to be clear, did you guys know about JJ's injury during the game, or is this something that pops up?
Yeah, no, he was evaluated, and I know he got it taped, and probably was something that you guys were aware of. But yeah, the severity of it, and just knowing that he was going to need some time for that thing to settle down and kind of work through the early process of the rehab stage of things. And like I said, I don't anticipate it, being a short-term IR type situation. But we do need to see how he responds here early this week to treatment, and then we can kind of start projecting what his ramp back up will look like.
How are his spirits? What did you talk to him?
He's obviously disappointed. I mean, this guy he would go back out and play today. If it was possible, if we could schedule a game. That's the kind of player and competitor he is. I think for him, it's part of this journey is acknowledging, making sure you acknowledge, what it felt like, what you were, in the moment. Did I take the right footwork? Did I, play with the kind of technique and fundamentals and have my eyes in the right spots? And what plays did I do that? And what did that look like? And then what plays, maybe could it have been a little bit more consistent? And then what did those plays turn out like? And then just evaluate each play as its own, but always with the same principles of playing the position. And I think for him it's just, the injury just it's crushing, because you just want it to be a daily process of activating every aspect of the development and learning, because you've just seen it. Out of him and in game, his response, to find a way to win that opener in Chicago, and we weren't able to get that done yesterday. And there were some plays. That maybe could change the game there at different times, and it wasn't always J.J. McCarthy that the reason why those plays didn't happen. It was a collection of guys that we just have to have a little bit better all 11 feel. I told the team today, you can watch these clips and see all 11 guys doing their job, and really good things happen for the Minnesota Vikings when that happens, and that's what we got to get more of, and that's what what, ultimately, I'm responsible for, and I put it on myself to try to challenge everybody, prepare the team the right way, regardless of who's in there, regardless of some of the adversity we've kind of felt from an injury standpoint. To me, it's about the principles of playing the way we need to play, all 11 guys, no matter what phase, offense, defense, or special teams. And it's not a cliche when you're seeing some of the results that we've had. And I think it goes back to taking, a look at how we prepare, taking a look at how we give our guys the most possible clarity. And then to me, when it is a fundamental thing, we talk about being a fundamentally sound football team. I don't think we were that yesterday. And we also, lost the turnover battle pretty significantly, which normally means you're going to have a hard time winning the game. And that's exactly what it was.
How have you felt about JJ's clock through a couple games in terms of staying in the pocket versus looking to escape?
Yeah, I think, you think back to, some of the plays where things were really firm and, the edges were good and those things. Even the 50-yarder before the half, thought that was a great example of all 11 guys doing their job and what it could look like. There were some other examples where he caught a little bit of a rhythm there when we were able to move it with a couple explosives, Speedy on a third down. Then we hit Speedy again after the long conversion to Adam. You look at those, it's, pretty much significant chunk. And then one of his best reps of the day was the ball down to Speedy on, near that right goal line where I think we were knocked out at the 2. And then you look at it the very next snap, probably have a chance to, for a pretty easy one there, and we kind of bobble the ball and pick it up and throw it away. So it's just the consistency of how many plays we can stack, consecutively. And like I said, it's not just one particular player. It's the, called a few screens in the game, and we don't throw and catch one with a pretty significant chance for a gain on that play, and then just have a mental error on another screen that ends up being a 2-yard gain when we should clearly have everybody kind of accounted for with a chance to have Jordan Mason in space with a lot of grass potentially on either one of those plays. So it's just, those plays we don't get. We don't get do-overs. Those plays come and go, and the result are what they are. But what I have to, take a, long look at is the execution of these plays and, all the little details that go into guys just doing their jobs. And I think good things will happen. In fact, I know good things will happen. And that's just something that doesn't make it any easier. I mean, talking about our environment we had and the fans that certainly showed up for us and didn't get the performance that, quite honestly, they deserved. And we all know that. Our players and coaching staff know that, and we've got to find a way, knowing that we've got 15 more games and we're a 1-1 team with a chance to win a game this week. That's all our focus needs to be on, is enhancing and improving the consistency of all 11 guys doing their job, regardless of the situation, regardless of first, second, third down, whatever it may be. Simple things, center quarterback exchange, different mechanics of, our run game combinations and the targeting. And then I did think there were some positives, throughout the game, whether it was Justin or Speedy or these guys. TJ doesn't always show up in the stat sheet, but it should if we get the all 11 execution that we can't just expect. We've got to go make it come to life.
Time for 2 more questions, guys.
Do you sense that he's close?
Yes. Yeah. No. This has been. I understand, kind of, especially with the nature of his kind of ramp up and working back into it, and some of the work he had throughout training camp and that calendar that we've been on. And it's been a true day-to-day approach to it, and trying to get to a place where, we're, obviously doing what's best for Christian and a very collaborative process there. But at the same time, he's doing everything he can to be out there. He's done a phenomenal job from start to currently where we're at right now, and anticipate that continuing. And when we get him out there, it's going to be a huge boost for us for sure.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
All right,
guys.
there you go. There's the head coach of the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, the lead J.J. McCarthy, ankle injury incurred last night during the game. They taped him up. I was not aware. I did not see that. They taped him up. He played, but he will not play this week, and it doesn't sound like he'll play in the foreseeable future. I think they have a better chance to win with Wentz than they do McCarthy. And it's not because I think Wentz is great. It's just McCarthy's awful. Matter of fact, if you want to really be cynical, usually if a guy has an ankle injury like that, you rehab it this week, you tape it up, and he's a game-time decision or he's questionable.
That was my first thought.
He's benched. Or maybe not.
Well, my first thought was, I guess they didn't really ask the ins and outs of the ankle injury. Like, if it's a high ankle sprain, then yes, you're out.
Yeah.
If it's just an ankle sprain, you usually don't, like, on Monday morning go, he's not going to play Sunday. It's usually, let's see how he reacts as the week goes along, because, a lot of people after a week can... do you have your speaker up way too loud in there? Is that what's happening again?
You keep going.
So I had the same thought of you of, if it's just a normal ankle sprain as opposed to a high ankle sprain, I think it's pretty odd to already declare him like we're not going to have him on Monday and not see how that fares as the week goes along, especially with the training staffs they have. So, I do think it's partially, he's hurt. Mentally, we don't want to make it any worse. Let's sit him for a little bit and give him a chance on the bench to watch from there.
I think that's a distinct possibility. And he was asked, the first question after he made the announcement, I don't know who it was, but someone asked, is this partly due to play? He says, absolutely not. But, again, I guess we have to take his word for it, but it's hard not to let your mind wander to that possibility because, as you said earlier, Teneby, when we talked about in his 8 quarters of his NFL career, very short NFL career, he had one really spectacular quarter, the fourth quarter against the Bears. As you said, it wasn't just he was mediocre, those other 7. He was pretty awful.
Awful.
He just wasn't any good at all. And so you don't give yourself much of a chance. If you say, and if he does indeed now is limited to a certain extent with the ankle, you throw that on top of that with you. I don't think Darrisaw is coming back. I think I told you, one of my sources told me they didn't think Darrisaw was going to come back for a while yet, a few more games. So now the third
string left tackle.
Yeah, he's
second string center.
Right.
Still without your second wide receiver. Looks like you're, if you want to call him top running back, I don't know if you can call Aaron Jones your top running back, but part of your top running back combo out. Not a lot to work with.
No, there's not a lot to work with.
Good luck, Carson Wentz.
Yeah, and so, it's, here's, I just got to do this real quick. Hold on. I got it. Text message says, the amount of words of KOC is like the amount of running yards the Falcons had. What he did is, that last question, he went on for 5 minutes. So, if you added all the words that KOC just had in his news conference, they'd probably match the yardage the Falcons had on the ground last night. Let's take a break, come back. Let's mull it over, Teneby. We'll do that. Other side of the break, it's the Common Man program with Teneby and Common Man here on the Fan.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity. With Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance, it keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Hey, what's up? It's Mario Lopez. Back to school is an exciting time, but it can also be overwhelming, and kids may feel isolated, a vulnerability that human traffickers can exploit. Human trafficking doesn't always look like what you expect. Everyday moments can become opportunities for someone with bad intentions. Whether you're a parent, teacher, coach, or neighbor, check in, ask questions, stay connected. Blue Campaign is a national awareness initiative that provides resources to help recognize suspected instances of human trafficking. Learn the signs and how to report at dhs.gov/blue campaign.
Saks Off 5th is your secret to fashion's most wanted deals at up to 70% off. On the hunt for designer steals that'll turn heads and leave a trail of envy? Uncover Gucci, Valentino, Versace, Stuart Weitzman, and more, with new arrivals dropping weekly at prices too good to stay confidential. Luxe layers, statement boots, and tailored essentials from Saks Off 5th will put your wardrobe on the most wanted list. Head to SaksOff5th.com or a Saks Off 5th store near you for a style lineup you won't want to miss.
Welcome to the W, where legends are made and history is written under the brightest lights. The WNBA delivers nonstop action and world-class talent every single game. And now, it all comes down to this. Will the New York Liberty defend their crown, or will another team take the chip? This is where champions rise and legacies are defined. Watch the WNBA postseason, currently underway on ABC and ESPN.